Hello and welcome to the channel. Let's take a look at the reactions to this story briefly. Ike Kumalo said that I'm no longer standing up for South Africans because it's so difficult, guys, to stand in the gap for South Africans, because the very same people who you are advocating for turn around and betray you, call you names. Now we just have a few that are coming up, but the good thing is that Winnie Mandela has multiplied, guys. There are so many coming up and voicing out their concerns in terms of social ills in South Africa and all the work that is needed. And it's a good thing that we are seeing rather some change, meaning whatever South Africans are saying and doing, it's not actually falling on deaf ears completely. There is impact, guys, but the problem is the pushback. Now we can no longer judge the activists of the apartheid back then. We cannot even judge Mandela. There are people who will say, Mandela sold us out. Do you see the type of pushback that a leader has to deal with? We don't know the type of pushback that Mandela had to deal with in that time of negotiations. Galana kuno IFP, who had their own ideas, kuno PAC, who had their own ideas, the ANC had their own ideas. Do you understand? We're apartheid in the mix, and he had to make a decision. To understand the pressure that they were under? But they didn't give up, number one, and Abo Mandela, Abo Walter Sisulu, Abo Lilian Ngoyi, they were professionals, they were elite among the Black South Africans. Do you understand? They were nurses, lawyers, social workers. They were elite, but they never used the privilege of being a middle class of that time. They still went out and advocated for those that had nothing and advocated for the future of their people. There, guys. No. Let's stop selling out. Let's stop selling out and call a spade a spade. What is right, guys. But even if something is wrong, at least come with a plausible solution, something that will then be implementable. Let's talk about it some more. Take a look at these thoughts and sentiments, and I'll be back with the rest of the commentary. Thank you,
guys. Ngicela nibuke le documentary. It's a 7-part documentary on the life of Umam Nomzamo Winifred Madikizela Mandela. Bafethu, uyabona, I keep saying we cannot understate the importance and the role of women in society, and in the role of women in our struggles, in our societal struggles, in our political struggles, in our social struggles, in every space. Don't ever underestimate the role of umuntu wesifazane in any of those spaces, because this yabo mubuka lento le okokuqala uzobona very well ukuthi umama Winnie was not without her faults, yabo. There are those black marks in her history, like njengaye wonke omunye umuntu oyiqhawe. Akekho ke umuntu oyiqhawe ozomthola perfect khohlwakhe. But more than anything, that lady had no fear in her. Uzuyasho in one of the episodes, uthi mina, one thing that the apartheid government did is that they removed the element of fear. Khona la beqhuma khona tear gas, and she did that on purpose ukuthi she wanted to break every law that she could possibly break so that she could get international attention on the atrocities of ubandlululo. Khona la qhuma khona tear gas, bamdonsa amabhunu. Hey, uyambona la ebusweni ukuthi ayi unenkani lo muntu lo, unenkani. Uyabona bafethu, ngiyanichazela ngisasho namanje, women in these spaces, they do remarkable things, yabo. And akekho umuntu oshizile oyizwile ngempela the brunt of apartheid njengayo uMama Winnie, much more than Nelson Mandela, much more. uMandela actually what he is and what he became is because of lwa mama loyana. Ngiyanicela bafethu, this weekend nje ngicela ningazuli nihlale ku NetFlix, manifuna sinirentise sonirentisa bafethu, nihlale phansi nje nibuke le shandisi le and get inspired. Mhlambe ke senzo understand ke lezi zinto nalama cause alwelwa oJacinta, njengoba sithi nje hands off Jacinta, sisuke sikhuluma ngokuthi she resembles le caliber yabantu besifazane. Danko.
I am much angrier than him. It is true, I have personally found it very, very difficult to believe in the sincerity of the ruling class, the Afrikaner. I do battle with myself about believing their sincerity. As far as I'm concerned, We will watch that negotiation table. If anything goes wrong there, I will be the first to go back to the bush, take up arms, and fight the South African government.
The Trials of Winnie Mandela, which I highly recommend that you watched. Winnie Mandela was judged by her worst moment, whereas most icons go down in history for their best moments. And having binge-watched all six episodes of the documentary, I realized that we are always going to be a hero in somebody's story and a villain in another's. And there's even a quote that says, if you live long enough, you will die a villain. But having watched this documentary, you just realize how some of the greatest figures are so deeply polarizing. No matter what it is that you do, in one person's story, you will be a hero, and in another's, you will be a villain. And you just kind of have to be okay with however it is that people are going to choose to perceive you, because you cannot control the narratives people form about you.
Mama, the UDF cabal is here. The cabal that rejected you and disowned you and sent you to the brutal apartheid regime is here. When they called the press conference during the dark days of apartheid, when they called the press conference, when the regime was prepared to kill, and said in that press conference, you are not part of them, they are here today. You were a member of the ANC. You were the only one who was pronouncing ANC in the 80s. Mama, you never told me how we must treat them when they come here. I'm waiting for a signal, ma. Mama. Nomzamo. Mama Nomzamo. All those who resigned from the NEC of the Women's League because they said they cannot be led by a criminal, they are here.
Viva Mandela. Viva Winnie. We are there by our girl. Crazy. I could never live that life. Yo, Mbokoto vibes. I'm not that strong, okay? Episode 3, that broke me. But also, did you know that Mandela asked Winnie to go and live with him in prison? My guy? When she was just like, that's the start of when their relationship fell apart. I said, absolutely. Because what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm out here. What do you mean? Like, for me, that was crazy. But also then there's police there, people who are in police at the time. And they're coming out and they're just like, yeah, that's how we wanted to tame her. That's how he even says manipulate Winnie to, being, and then he's like, no, not manipulate, but like control her. I said, oh, Sana. Yeah. But then there's parts that just give me so much joy. And I'm like, eating them up. When they do the America tour, Sana, I'm sorry. They did the America tour, and to see how much people, all the work that she was doing was actually reaching the market she was trying to reach. So all the news outlets, BBC, all of the news outlets that she was trying to reach by being, defiant of the apartheid laws, she actually got that attention. That's what she was doing when Mandela was arrested and ANC was dismantled and all the other parties as well. What she was trying to do was get the attention of the world to know what was happening in South Africa. And the fact that she achieved that during that time, and that was her sole mission, I was really happy. That gave me so much joy to see. Yeah, that support. On episode 5, the TRC, Truth and Reconciliation Commission, what I learned in school and what I'm hearing from this documentary, I think I had a different perspective when I was learning this in high school. Probably, I think high school, I don't think in primary. To like this documentary is opening me up to certain things. So I have feelings now, whereby before it felt like so matter of fact as history being told. Now there's feelings, and like, I guess I'm grown and matured and seeing where we are this many years later. I have weird, yeah. And also like, some of the commentators that come here, the authors and whatnot, I'm just like, hey, kuningi going on there by you. But there is one thing that still stands out, which is violence in war? Is there a way to be in war without violence? Because what is criminal is also different from each and every generation and each and every commission, and like kuningi. But that stuck with me. The justification of violence. And where is the line? Is there a line? Anyway, I know Ndilo, but if you haven't watched it, The Trials of Winnie Mandela is out on Netflix, and I really do recommend watching it. As a filmmaker as well, it's brilliantly done. Every episode is brilliantly done. Storytelling, the editing, the directing, the amount of people they managed to get in this is insane.
Like who would really qualify to give me a role? Shouldn't I have been the person to give them roles? Jesus. Considering the role I played in the struggle? I do not even expect anyone even today to insult me with some kind of position. Amanda! Who am I to be given a position by these little boys and girls who came from Lusaka and found me having laid the ground for them to assume every position?
Well, there you have it. Those are some of the reviews coming in for the documentary that is for Winnie Mandela. And it came just in April as South Africa celebrates Freedom Month. And of course, there is Freedom Day. Now, Cyril Ramaphosa had his speech and he spoke a lot about some of the things that are happening in South Africa. And of course, the big contentious one is our international relations and foreign policy. And then he also spoke about the conflict between South Africans and non-South Africans. And you hear how people then, are more active towards that topic than any other topic that Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to act on. Now, when Winnie Mandela speaks like this in this documentary, a lot of people, are just reminded of how far South Africa has come, but also to remind all those other African nations that think that just by donating and protesting in the name of South Africa, that nothing was being done within South Africa itself. There was a lot. Winnie was just one of them. Many that left South Africa, they went out to be activists, not to go there and be merry. They came back because they had achieved that goal. But if you don't activate awareness, should I say, around the issues that affect your country, how will it ever change, right? We're hoping that all that is happening, that even though, some people are experiencing some discomfort, that out of it, people's consciousness is raised, and that every African country is reminded of how far each one of these countries have come and continue the journey to liberate the people of Africa as a whole, but not into one country, of course, in the different countries that have such rich histories. Take a look at this documentary that came at this pivotal time. Let me know what your thoughts are down below, and of course please give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.